Let's kick it off with the first TBR of 2023. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Chris, and today's video is the January 2023 TBR. Before we jump into the video, make sure you're checking that description box down below for links to my Discord and social media should you want to come along for the ride. That's right, my friends, we have entered into 2023. What happened in 2022? Don't know. Have no idea where it went. It just went into the ether, but I read something, so that was cool. Let's jump into what I'm reading this year, what I'm kicking off the year with. So the first thing to mention is the buddy read starting here in January, and that is The Cycle of Fire by Janny Wurts. We'll be reading book 1, Shadowfane, here in January, and I think I'm going to be reading this fairly soon in the timeline of things. Janny Wurts I found when I read To Ride Hell's Chasm, even though the books aren't particularly long. Actually, To Ride Hell's Chasm was deceptively long. It's about 700 pages, but it looks shorter. The Cycle of Fire is shorter than that. So we've started with this one because I would like to read The Wars of Light and Shadow eventually and do a big channel-wide buddy read. Janny has said The Cycle of Fire is a little bit more linear. It's a good introduction into the way that she writes. It's also not as dense as The Wars of Light and Shadow. When I read To Ride Hell's Chasm, it is quite dense, and it does force you as a reader to slow down and really take your time with that book. So if I read normally 60 pages within an hour, I was reading 30 pages within an hour when it came to Janny Wurts' writing style. So because it may take me a little bit longer, I'm unsure with The Cycle of Fire. I am going to start this pretty soon here on the channel, but there will be a Discord channel for it as well. So if you are looking forward to jumping into that buddy read, make sure you're checking out the Discord because there is a discussion channel on there and you can jump in and talk to us. The other buddy read that's happening and will be finishing in January is The Book of Words by J.V. Jones. We are reading book 3, Master and Fool, this month. So that also has a channel in the Discord if you're interested. If you've been reading along with us, then you can jump in there as well. I have enjoyed books 1 and 2. They haven't been knockouts for me, but I have had a good time. Very classic feeling fantasy, quite easy to read and to follow along with, which is what I've needed in the last couple of months of 2022. So looking forward to finishing that one as well. Moving on from there, I've got the biggest and most ambitious readathon that I'm taking part of here, and that is from the Literary Apothecaries channel, and there's a bunch of other booktubers involved. That is The Wheel of Time. So in January I'll be reading The Eye of the World, and if I'm completely honest, I've started this one already. So I got to, I think, the 22nd of December, and I didn't have an audiobook, but I had bought The Eye of the World already, read by Rosamund Pike from the TV series. It was promotion where Rosamund Pike had read the first book, and I quite like her voice. So I thought that I would give it a go, and I've started. I read audio very, very slowly in comparison to a lot of people here on the platform. When I read audio, I probably get about 30 to 35 hours of audio time per month, and The Wheel of Time or The Eye of the World is 32 of those hours. So I thought that I would just start a little bit early. I'm on chapter 8 at the time of filming, and I'm having a fairly good time with it. So I will be reading that one and continuing that one on in January as well. The next one is sort of a book buddy read. This isn't an official buddy read that's happening, and I do need to check with Theo over at Rekindled Reader if he's ready to go. But this will be The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. This is a classic. I have this one on audio as well. I've had a friend who started to read this on audio and said that it was a little bit confusing, so they've switched to the physical. I do also have a physical copy of the book, but I am trying to find somewhere to get another audiobook in January so that I can finish all of these books off, because I've got 8 here, and I will probably read about 6 normally is where I sit comfortably within any given month, because a couple of these are chonkers. But some of them are also smaller, so we'll see how we go. This video is already a hot mess. That's fine, let's move on. The Name of the Rose is a historical fiction. It's like a crime, mystery, historical fiction, which I'm really looking forward to getting into. I've enjoyed the snippets of historical fiction that I read in 2022, and I would love to continue just throwing it into the TBR sort of sporadically as a genre that I enjoy but I don't read a whole lot from. So Name of the Rose is up there for January, and I hope Theo's ready to go. but if not, that is something that we can push if he's not quite ready. The rest of the books that I have here on the January TBR are indie picks. I'm gearing up for an author interview. I've got an Escapist book tour and an arc here that I'm really looking forward to. So these are all set in stone. I've got Curse of the Fallen by H.C. Newell. This is book 1 in the Fallen Light series. I don't know if it's a trilogy or not, but I'll be reading book 1 this month, and then I've got book 2 in the February TBR. Spoiler alert. So this one is a darker fantasy with a cover that is absolutely beautiful. It really does pop, and I'll pop it on the screen here. The next one I've got is an Escapist book tour that I signed up for. I'm not sure when my day is. I need to check that because I probably need to start reading it fairly soon, and that is The Last Ranger by J.D.L. Rozelle. J.D.L. Rozelle has captured my attention for about a year now, but I've never read something of his, and then when I saw the Kickstarter for The Last Ranger and just how beautiful this looks, I think I'm really going to vibe with the tale and the writing style. If I enjoy The Last Ranger, then I will likely jump into something else written by him. He's got quite a backlist of books, so if I like the writing style, then I'm excited to get some more Rozelle under my belt. Moving on from there, we have Vevan Song. This is by Jonathan Neves Mayers. This is an author who reached out to me with an arc request, and the blurb sounds like nothing I've ever come across before. And knowing the inspiration and where that was drawn from has me really intrigued to jump into this book. The cover is also one of those covers that are quite simple but eye-popping, and I do really appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one. I think it is going to be such a unique experience, so I always look forward to a unique experience here on the channel. The last one I've got for January is Light Fighters. This is the follow-up to Moon Deeds in the Star Children saga by one Palmer Pickering. I read Moon Deeds a couple of months ago, had a fairly good time with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what book 2 has to offer, because it did end on quite the cliffhanger. Those are the books that I have planned for January of 2023. What is something that you are picking up? What are you excited to get to? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will. I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.